Well, for more reaction, we have reached out to a former ambassador from Canada to Saudi Arabia. David Chatterson was the ambassador from 2009 to 2011. He joins us now from Kelowna, BC. Sir, thank you so much for making time for us today. It's been a remarkable story to follow. I want to begin by getting your impressions on how that scene unfolded at Toronto's Pearson Airport, where you've got this young woman, a refugee to Canada. She's wearing a UN hat. She's wearing the Canada sweatshirt. The minister has her arm around her. What did you make of that whole scene?
Well, very heartwarming, very political, frankly.
Why do you say that? Why do you say political?
Well, fundamentally, we have injected in this case, I think, a very strong domestic political element into a refugee persecuted person's situation. And I'm not sure that's always the best thing to do when what we're trying to do is to manage very sensitive and very difficult circumstances of some 25 million people in the world. UNHCR believes or has a number of 25-point-something million refugees in the world, most of whom are in much worse circumstances than this unfortunate teenager from Saudi Arabia. And yet, our Prime Minister has chosen to offer her immediate sanctuary. That's going to be, I think, initially viewed by Saudi Arabia as a very concerted effort on our part, or on the Prime Minister's part, to insert himself into this story. And frankly, as your reporter alluded to, I think it also sets a very dangerous precedent.
So I want to pull apart a couple of things that you mentioned there. Our understanding so far, and so much of this we've been dependent on other reporting coming out of Thailand, but our understanding was that the UNHCR had declared her as a refugee, that she was recommended to go to Australia, and there was concern that Australians were not moving quickly enough, and so Canada was asked to step in, and so Canada said, okay, we will. So is that the same thing as the Prime Minister inserting himself into the story?
Well, I think we've pretty much gone about as low as we can go in the relationship. I mean, the Saudi regime will look upon this as, I believe, the Prime Minister inserting himself, making a concerted effort to insert himself into this story. They will look upon this as an affront to themselves and as Canada interfering in what they would view as a family dispute and in their internal affairs. There's no question that this is going to, if at all possible, deepen the divide between the two countries. And it's also going to further diminish any influence we may want to have on the evolution of human rights in the Saudi kingdom. I think what we want to do is not to preach, not to be sanctimonious. What we're trying to do is to help an evolution in a country that is very, very different than any Western country. And to do that, you have to bring students to Canada, educate them, let them enjoy a very diverse and tolerant society and go back to Saudi Arabia. We've lost that opportunity. But you have to do this in an effective dialogue. You can't do it through tweets, and you can't do it by inserting yourself in high-profile news stories.
Okay. Sir, thank you so much for your insight and your time. We'll continue to follow the story and touch base with you again.